Okay.
So, my friend, today we are working on lesson number 12, which is our introduction to Cisco routers. And why we need to know about this introduction to Cisco routers? Because we are going to work on Cisco devices. So, it's not only the introduction to Cisco router, we will be knowing about Cisco devices. In that, routers are there, and then we have switches, and then we will be working on uh, firewall also. So, but initial we have to work on router, then we have to work on switch, then the last we have to work on firewall. So let's know some basic knowledge of router, then we will configure router. These are the modules what we are covering in this training. Okay, so as we are coming to know about router, okay, now, so what is router? So router is an internetworking device which is helping you to connect two or more different networks together for communication. So you can see here, uh, in the diagram we have LAN 1 and we have second LAN B, and here there is one device, okay, so which is connected here in the ISP. So ISP is helping you to connect to different uh, long distance network. But here you can see here the end of this LAN, they have router is connected with ISP, and here also network B has also router. So mainly the routers are helping you to communicate between two different networks, and routers is also helping you to forward the data packet, because communication is what you are transferring data from one network to another network. Okay, so communication is what you have to send emails, you have to send message, so you are sending data packet. Now Cisco provide various models, or you can say series of routers. Like we have 2500 series of router, 2600, 2800, 41, okay, 62, something like that. There is series of the router. So series of the routers, so don't get confused in the series of the routers. Like same, we have computers, we have Core i3, Core i5, Core i7, okay, and in that we have processor generations. So same here, uh, what we have in laptop, the processor, RAM, okay, so same here in the routers also, they have series models. So depending on the models, your router capacity will increase, means how many load your router can support, whether your router can work locally or whether your router can work globally. So when you want to make router as a globally, so you need heavy router. So these series of the routers are working in those conditions, that whenever you want something for large network, you have to choose the heaviest series. And the series models are divided into three categories, we will be so knowing in the coming sessions. And here, what we are coming to know, that the routing devices what we have, or you can say the Cisco used to create routing devices, Cisco used to create some wireless devices, security devices, like that. But as we are coming to know about router, so the basic router supports routing functionalities also, okay, and some security functionalities also, okay, and some other kind of routers, okay, they also provide different type of models and series inside a single router, okay. But now what we are working on this router, what we are going to work, this router will only supports the routing functionalities and security functionalities, not voice over IP and not wireless, okay. Now, so here we have some kind of router manufacturing companies who used to manufacture the routers. In this, the highest is Cisco, and depending on the countries, but Cisco is the global player, you can say. But Mikrotik is also working very fast. Mikrotik, and you can say Juniper is also working very, and these are the Asian companies like Huawei. Okay. But if you have knowledge of Cisco routers, so you can easily work on these all routers, because see, routing condition and routing theoretical part is same, only the configuration is little bit different on all these. Okay, but the concept is similar on all the routing devices. Because here you will see, okay, in the Juniper router also you will see the route REAP is working, OSPF is working. On the Cisco router also you will see REAP is working, OSPF is working. Only the configuration is different, but the concept is same on all the routers. Now, as I told you that Cisco provide multiple series models. Okay, so if I am going to host my network, okay, and my organization is very large, then where I will use which type of routing devices. So each and every network has three layer of connectivity. So if any user is connecting to the inside network, okay, so whenever you want to connect, so first of all you have to connect to the access layer device. Means access layer device is used to connect to your end users. Okay, so this is your access layer device. And why they are using access layer device? Because access layer device is provide limited connectivity with the end users. And distributed layer routers means distributed layer device is what all the access layer data will come to distributed layer, and distributed layer router will be used for distributing and selecting the best path to reach from source to destination, and the data traffic monitoring and data traffic manipulation, means how it will go. Okay, so you can say the distributed layer routers define the map or define the route, how the data will flow from source to destination. Destination means what? You are here on this PC and you wanted to communicate to Google. Google is here. So access layer data is access layer router is providing you the path, that okay, the default gateway. Okay, but when your access layer router will send data to distribution layer router, so distribution layer router has the information that from which way your data can go faster to reach to the destination. Okay, and core layer router is used for faster data sending from one device to another device, but no routing, only data throughput. Okay, so in details you can see here the routers which is used by a small organization, those are access layer router. See, access layer router also perform routing, okay, also perform path manipulation and everything, but it works only with the limited users. It's not you can use for large organization, because if you these routers cannot support heavy traffic, because it has low RAM, it has low uh, processing power. Okay, so you can understand that. See, you cannot make your laptop as a server, but in server also you can find same operating system and everything. Okay, why those machines are known as server? Because they have heavy configuration. You can find RAM up to 256 GB RAM. Hard disks you will find 5 terabyte of hard drive. That's why those computers are known as server. So same here, access layer routers are used for a small organization. And access layer, which is the lowest level of the Cisco networking model. Okay, and it also ensured that the packets are delivered to the user devices. Means when the data is also coming from internet, so first before reaching to the user, the end user, it comes to the access layer router. Now this layer is also known as desktop layer router. Okay, because it is connected to the end users of the network. So when you will see some, every device has number. So whenever you see 800, 1600, okay, see here it's I told you 1800. So after 1800, 1841, 1850. Okay, so whatever you see after 18 or after 25, something like that, so these routers are access layer routers. So this is also router which perform routing, which perform basic routing, basic networks, basic DHCP, all those things you can configure, even OSPF, EIGRP, REAP, everything. But it can only work for a small organization, not for heavy traffic uh, communication. Okay, means access. You can simply say that access layer router cannot be configured or cannot be used in the large network. Now here is the second model. When the data is moving from access layer, it will come to distribution layer. See, its name is saying distribution. Distribution means the data will be collected by distributed router, and then the distributed router will decide when the data will be forward to whom and how. Okay. So distribution layer router is located between, you can say here, access layer and core layer. The purpose of this layer is to provide boundary definition by implementing access list and other filtering. So here in the, I told you the basic router also perform everything, but distribution router can perform more than access layer. So here also you can perform filtering. Means filtering is what? The data filtering, packet filtering, that okay, how which type of data can pass from me, or how the data can travel in the network. The distribution layer router also provide policy based routing, you can say. And it's simply, you can say, distribution layer also include high end layer 3 switching and routing. High end means what? For heavy traffic, distribution layer ensure that the packets are properly routed between your network to the enterprise network, or to the internet. Means whenever you are sending data, who is sending data and who is receiving? The end user is sending data and receiving the data. Okay. Now, as you can see here, distribution layer router is responsible for high end routing. Okay, and it also provide path manipulation, policy based routing. Okay, in large quantity, you can say. And these are the series of the router which is used for distribution layer router. See, distribution layer router, if you have any confusion, you can ask. Distribution means what? Like just take example of one shopkeeper. Shopkeeper is access layer router. So end user means you or me. If we need something to buy a small thing, we can directly go to a small shopkeeper in our street and we can buy the things. So those things are known as access layer router. And distribution is what? Distribution means there is a big shop who is distributing those materials, those food items, and those things to the small shops. He used to deliver, means the delivery will be uh, done by the distribution layer router. Means, okay, and these are the series which I have already told you. It's 2600, 28, 3, 32, 35, 60, like that. Okay, till 45. And basically we will be using uh, core layer sorry, distribution layer router configuration. So we'll be working on distribution layer router. Okay, now here we have some core layer routers. So normally core layer routers are known as backbone of your network, or and it use high speed cables for communications such as fiber cable. And core layer router does not support route traffic. Okay, and no packet manipulation done on this device. Okay, simply it is used for high data transfer. Okay, means, see, you can see here, these are the routers. Okay, it's, but normally when we see routers, we see routers like this, right? But these are core layer routers which are used in ISP network for high data transferring. Means when the data is coming from one place, like from Cameroon, and I have to transfer to Nigeria. So at the end it will come to core layer router, and core layer router will send those data faster. Okay, in that condition those core layer routers are used. Now here we have uh, some router classifications. In this router classification we have to understand that some routers are fixed router, which is known as like what you can say access. Some of the access layer router is a fixed layer router, means, or you can say fixed router means if any port is not working on that router, you cannot change the port, means you have to change the entire router. Okay, and modular router means there are modifications possibilities, you can modify the routers. So suppose this is a router, and you can see if this port is not working, so easily what you can do, you can remove this port which is not working in this router, and you can put the new one here. But the same thing you cannot do with these kinds of fixed router. If this fixed router port is not working, means this router has gone. There is no option to change, or there is no slot, I can say. Same like in our laptop, if any port is not working, right, you cannot remove that port and you put new port, right? There is no slot. So slots you will find in desktops, PCI slot or something, you can easily remove and you can put new one like that. So same here, we have fixed router and modular router, but most of nowadays we are using modular routers. We are not using fixed router nowadays. Fixed router is just an example of wireless router. Okay, you know the router which has antenna. So those are fixed router. You will find ports, but those ports are not that you can remove and you can put new one. So now, when we are coming to know about router configuration, so in this router configuration, there are some type of ports, and we need to know about the ports before configuring. So the router external ports are divided into three categories: LAN, WAN, and administrative port. And you can see here router ports are given below, which is serial port, fast Ethernet port, console port, and auxiliary port. Auxiliary ports are not uh, it's not coming nowadays because those has been obsoleted. Okay, because auxiliary port uh, were coming in the older days, but nowadays we are only using, even serial ports are also not coming, but we should know about all these. Okay, so here we have, you can see here we have, this is the router back panel. In this we have multiple ports, which is in the rear panel of the router, and each ports is looking like RJ45, but each port has different use. So here, first of all, we have to know about serial port. So serial ports are used for connecting, used for WAN communication, means used for connecting router to router. Okay, but it is only used for a limited distance. Okay, so now let's come to know about fast Ethernet port. Okay, but always keep in mind, serial is only used for connecting router to router. But fast Ethernet port can be used for connecting router to router, as well as your router to switch or router to direct PC for communication purpose. And console port is used for configuring the router. Okay, this one. And why we use this for configuring the router? Because when you will buy new router, you will find the router is blank, nothing is there in his NVRAM. Okay, in its NVRAM, and you need to configure, right? So when you will buy the new one, you will find the blank uh, NVRAM, or you can say the blank hard drive. So you need to configure the settings on the router, and then you have to deploy it. Configure the setting means configuring the interface, configuring routing. Okay, so this network can easily communicate to this network. Now here we have some kind of auxiliary port. I told you auxiliary ports are not in use, but we have to know this. Okay. Okay, so we'll come to know auxiliary port. Now here we have power switch. Power switch is what just to one of the, or you can say restart the router. Okay, and this is the power cord where you are putting the connection here. Now here you have seen that we have serial port, but we have two type of serial ports. Okay, so let's have the port information and the cable information. So here we have serial port, and serial port use serial cable for connecting your router to router. So each serial port has two endpoint. Okay, one is known as DCE and second one is known as DTE. So DCE is used for, it is known as data communication equipment, means uh, when the flow of data is coming, it will start from DCE, and when the data is going to end in that on that device, you can connect DTE port. Means, for example, this is my ISP. Here I have one router, then one router, then this is my last router. So here I will use DCE, then here I will use DTE. Again here DCE and here is DTE. Okay. But as I told you, nowadays we are not using serial port and we are not using auxiliary port. We are using fast Ethernet, gigabit Ethernet and console. Okay. So fast Ethernet is port which is helping you to connect from router to router, router to switch, or router to PC for communication purpose. Here we have console port. I told you whenever your router is new, you need console port for configuring a router. Okay. So here we have three type of console cable. Okay, and port is also RJ45. Okay. So here now suppose this RJ45 will connect to your router, and this serial port will be connecting, or you can say COM port will be connecting to your laptop. But if you do not have this COM port, these nowadays laptops are not coming with the serial COM port. So if you do not have this COM port, so you have here converter. So this converter will convert your COM port to USB port, and now you can connect to your laptop and then you can start accessing your router. And this is the new console cable which is coming directly with USB, so you can connect this RJ45 to router and this USB to your laptop or your desktop to easily access the router and configure. Now, as you know that I told you that auxiliary ports are not in use, but you have to know. So as console ports are used local management. So whenever you want to manage locally a router, then you use console port. Okay. But whenever you want to manage something which is in a remote location, so if you have any router which is in a remote location and you want to configure and manage, so in this you have to use auxiliary port and auxiliary cable. Okay. Now you will find in the new routers, you'll find some USB ports. So why it is there? So USB ports nowadays are used for backupping the router configuration and to upgrading the router iOS image. Now, so here I told you in the LAN port we can have Ethernet port also. So some routers you will find with Ethernet port, and some routers you will find with fast Ethernet port, and you'll find it's written in the rear panel of the router, fast Ethernet, gigabit Ethernet, or Ethernet line. I'll show you. Okay, and you already know that Ethernet supports up to 10 Mbps. So if you're using Ethernet port device, and if you'll connect 100 Mbps connection, so it doesn't mean that it will start supporting 100 Mbps connection. It will only support 10 Mbps because its capacity is 10 Mbps. So that's why we have different type of ports cable depending on our internet or LAN speed inside our organization. Now here we have two type of serial port. One is sync serial and second one is smart serial. So sync serial router for faster data communication. Okay. Now, but this what we are talking about serial ports, it was not used for long distance. Okay, and the speed was also not that much faster, but it was only used for faster data transmission from one device to another device. Okay, now if you see here, the second one is a smart serial. A smart serial comes with 24 pins. Okay, so as I told you, we are in the new devices, you will not find a serial port and this both smart serial and sync serial, because nowadays everything is we are using with the RJ45 and wireless connectivity. But wireless devices, we have wireless devices, but it is means like router. Cisco have wireless devices, but it's not part of this training. Okay, wireless is what, just to configure the DHCP and some other things. Okay, but when you will learn some other advanced technology, automatically you will come to know how to configure. But in this training, we will be configuring routing and DHCP also. Okay. Now here we have console port connectivity information, that if you have router here and whenever you have your computer. Okay, so as I told you that whenever you want to use console port connectivity between your router to system, your system must have COM port. Okay, so if you have COM port, okay, so you can connect the COM port in your desktop, and then you have the cable which is coming out, you have to connect to the console cable. See, every one is RJ45. You will see here, auxiliary is also RJ45, console is also RJ45, Ethernet is also RJ45, fast Ethernet is also RJ45. So, okay, so it's not that you can connect any cable anywhere. No, each and every cable has, it's written there that okay, this cable is used for this purpose. Okay, so as I told you, console port and console cable is used for configuring the router. Initial configuration of the router will be done by console cable. So you have to connect and then you have to configure. But as you know that the router do not have screen, right? So we have to use our laptop or desktop screen to connect with the router. Okay, and there are some software which is helping you to connect. So here auxiliary port, I told you, it is used for remote administration. Okay, so whenever you want to manage some remote routers, in that case we use auxiliary port for connectivity. But for auxiliary connection we need modem to be connected, but nowadays we are not using modem, we are not using auxiliary port, but still we are using to configure the remote routers. So in that case we are using two protocol which is known as telnet and SSH. Okay, and we will be knowing that how to configure remote routers from one location, okay, to another location with the help of SSH and telnet. So here are some details of the router external ports, as we have coming to know about LAN interface, which is Ethernet. Ethernet is divided into three category: Ethernet, fast Ethernet, Giga Ethernet. See, Ethernet is supporting 10 Mbps, which is known as 10 base 2. Okay, 10 base T means 10 Mbps baseband twisted pair. And here we have the second one is fast Ethernet, which is our 100 base T. Fast Ethernet means 100 base T means what? 100 Mbps speed, and fast Ethernet is using twisted pair cable. Gigabit Ethernet, okay, which is 1000 BST, means it will support up to 1 Gbps speed. WAN interface, it's a serial interface. It does not support more than 1.5 Mbps speed. Okay, 1.5 Mbps. And as you know that in the new routing devices, you will not find this WAN interface. You will only find these fast Ethernet and Gigabit Ethernet. Console ports, I told you the console ports are used for local administration of the devices, because when the router is new, you need to configure the router. So for configuring the router, you need console port. Here we have some uh, detail of the router internal components. See, the every devices which is electronic devices, you can say, okay, you will find RAM, of course, even if you are using your laptop, even if you are using your mobile, okay, everything will have RAM, because RAM is helping your devices to run. Okay, then you'll find some storage device to store the data. Okay, then you'll find some ports. So here is the LAN port, then power supply. Okay, WAN port means, okay, this is the serial, this is the LAN port, what we were talking about, this port. Okay, this one. Okay, and then these are some kind of isolation transfer, means to converting the electrical signals to DC. Okay, converting the AC to DC. So this is just an information. It's not that you start working as a electronic engineer. Okay, just information. This is CPU. It's the inbuilt CPU. It's not that you can change the CPU of the router. Okay. Now this is the main topic. Okay, and this is important topic, that how the data is flowing inside the router. Okay, means the, you can say, the booting process. So when your router boots, means how it is communicating to the devices, internal components, and how your router is giving you output result. So when you will start your router, so it will run post is known as power on self test. So whenever you will start your router, it will run post signal, and this post signal will check all your hardwares, whether all your hardwares is working fine or not, like your your RAM, your CPU, okay, your storage, okay, like NVRAM, your ports, okay, your processing unit, all these things will be checked by post. So when all the hardware is okay, then it will move to another process. So he's saying that yes, post is fine, good. Then it will look for operating system of the Cisco, means find internet operating system. Okay, internet work operating system of Cisco. Okay, so it will look for multiple location, because see, oh, same like your computer booting information can be saved on inside USB, or maybe it can be saved to the hard disk. You know, boot from LAN card, boot from USB, boot from hard disk. So same here, your router will also look for different booting location. So normally your devices, your iOS information is saved inside flash memory. Okay, then it will say, okay, if it will look for iOS, internet work operating system, then it will look for flash. Okay, normally it is in the flash, but if you want, you can keep to the TFTP server also, but this is not let's leave this one for now. So it will go for flash memory, and the data is, the information is stored in the flash memory, and then it will load your iOS from there, and then it will look for NVRAM, non-volatile RAM, and in the NVRAM they will look for configuration file. Configuration file means where the configuration is saved. Okay, so if your router is new, okay, then it will boot from setup mode, and if your router is old, then it will boot from startup config. Okay, means simply you can say it first it will run post, and after post it will load iOS, and then after iOS it will load your configuration file. Only three steps. Okay, simply first is post. Post, you can see here, power on self test. It checks the hardware of your system. Then it will go for ROM. Okay, ROM means BIOS. BIOS will look for bootable device. Okay, and then once it will identify that yes, bootable device is flash or TFTP or ROM, then it will look for why it is looking for bootable, means where who has kept the operating system. Okay, okay. Now now we have NVRAM. NVRAM is used to store our configuration file. Okay, and then once it will find the configuration file, then it will load the configuration file to RAM and it will boot. But if they will check that okay, this configuration file is not there, means the router is new. Okay, and how it will look like, I'll show you in the second slide.